Hi guys, welcome back to the Tech Chap. Today I'm reviewing the brand new ASUS ROG Swift PG248Q. It's 24 inches, it's got a 1080p resolution, and it uses a TN panel. Nothing really to get excited about there, but then you factor in the ridiculous 180 Hz refresh rate, 1 millisecond response time, NVIDIA's G-Sync and 3D vision, and you've got yourself a terrific little gaming monitor. Now some of you may be thinking 24 inches is a bit small these days if you're looking to upgrade and you might want something more like a 27-inch one. Well, that's fair, but then I wouldn't recommend a 27-inch monitor that has a 1080p resolution because the pixel print density is too low and things get a bit blurry. So if you are going to go with a 27-incher, you really need a 1440p or Quad HD resolution. And what happens then? Well, your frame rate in games takes a massive hit as it's pushing all those extra pixels. So there's something actually very sensible about this monitor. You'll get far higher frame rates playing games at 1080p than you would at 1440p, and because you'll get higher frame rates, you'll be able to take advantage of the monitor's fantastic 180 Hz refresh rate, which makes games look and feel silky smooth. But it is worth noting that technically the PG248Q here actually only has a refresh rate of 144 Hz, but if you go into the on-screen menu, the OSD, the top option is overclocking, and all you do is press a couple of buttons, turn it on, whack it up to 180, and you've got a 180 Hz refresh rate monitor. That's all you need to do. So the size and the resolution makes sense for the 180 Hz refresh rate, and since it's primarily aimed at gamers, the TN panel's 1 millisecond gray to gray response time will be ideal for those fast-paced games where you don't want any ghosting. Of course, the downside of any TN compared to, say, an IPS is generally the colors aren't as accurate and the viewing angles aren't great. The good news though is that the PG248Q is actually pretty good for a TN, and it's much better than its bigger, more expensive brother, the PG278Q. There's no sign of that horrible purple color shift that I saw on that one when you look down on it, and even though, you know, there is definitely a sweet spot for it, you do want to look at it straight on. If you turn it maybe 20 degrees off center, you do get a little bit of a yellow color shift, but generally it's actually very impressive for a TN, and the colors look pretty good too on the 8-bit panel, but I have found the contrast ratio just to be a little bit weak. It doesn't have those inky deep blacks or rich natural whites you get with IPSs, but compared to other TNs, it's really, really good. This is probably one of the best I've ever used. It gets seriously bright too, offering a 350 CDM maximum brightness. I found dropping the brightness to 50 with the contrast also set to 50 and the color temp set to the default user mode setting offered the best picture settings. There's also a blue light filter you can turn on through the OSD. So there's 5 levels of filtering, which is handy if you're working or playing late at night. The 24Q uses what's called a medium matte panel, so there's no annoying reflections, but it also doesn't suffer from that matte TN grainy effect that some other monitors do. Overall, I'm really impressed with the screen quality considering it's a TN. But one of the biggest selling points of this monitor is not just the refresh rate, it's its support for NVIDIA's G-Sync. You will of course need an NVIDIA graphics card to take advantage of it, but G-Sync and 180 Hz refresh rate is just incredible combined. It makes games look and feel so nice to play. G-Sync, as I'm sure you know, reduces screen tearing and stuttering, so it's a great feature to have alongside the high refresh rate. The monitor also supports ultra-low motion blur, ULMB, and overdrive. Whether you use them or not is up to you, but if you want to know more about these features, you can check out my in-depth monitor buying guide by clicking on the card at the top right somewhere. Now let's talk about the monitor itself in terms of design. It comes under ASUS's premium Republic of Gamers branding, so you get the same thin bezels, angular design, and fantastic on-screen display with joystick that you get on ASUS's top-end monitors like the PG279Q, which costs twice as much as this. It's incredibly flexible too. You can raise, lower, tilt, swivel, rotate, and even VESA mount the 24Q. Of course, style is very subjective, but I think overall the monitor looks great. It's a bit gamery, but not so sort of over the top that it would look out of place on an office desk. Also, if you go into the settings menu and turn on the setting called Light in Motion, you get the little red ring around the base light up. In terms of connectivity, there's a full-size HDMI 1.4, a DisplayPort 1.2, along with a DC power port, 3.5mm jack, 1 USB 3 upstream and 2 USB 3 downstream. One important point though is to make sure you do use the DisplayPort connection on the monitor, as that's the only way you'll get the full 180 Hz refresh rate at 1080p. HDMI is limited to just 60 Hz. If you're interested in 3D gaming, the monitor does support NVIDIA's 3D Vision 1 and 2, although I don't know that many people who still do 3D gaming, but it's a nice option to have. So how much does this super fast ultimate gaming monitor cost? Well, it's around £400 or $450, which certainly isn't cheap, but it is a good couple of hundred less than its bigger brother, the PG278Q. Of course, you are paying for the refresh rate, the G-Sync, and the Republic of Gamers branding. That's what makes it a bit more premium over other monitors. Overall though, I think it's a terrific monitor. It's not ideal for creative professionals and photo and video editors due to the TN panel rather than IPS, but if you're a gamer and you want some high-end features like a high refresh rate and G-Sync, this is probably the best 24-inch one you can buy. And the 1080p resolution just makes so much sense if you don't have the most powerful graphics card. It means you can still get good frame rates and take advantage of the high refresh. So I highly recommend it, and if you are interested in buying the PG248Q, you can find links in the description below. Thank you very much for watching. If you've got any questions or thoughts on the monitor, let me know in the comments or tweet me at the Tech Chat. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed my video, please do like, share and subscribe. I'll see you next time.